Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. So आज हम एक नई HTML सीरीज शुरू करने जा रहे हैं. In this series, we are going to explore the fascinating world of web development together. So तैयार हो जाओ दोस्तों to discover all the exciting things that HTML can offer. Before we dive into the depth of HTML, let me tell you a bit about myself. So I am a software development engineer and instructor with a burning desire of all things coding and teaching. Over the years, मैंने कई सारे exciting projects and websites बनाई हैं and आज मैं आपको वही सिखाने आया हूँ. And I have been teaching coding for the past 3 years. Here my goal is simple: to make learning web development fun, interactive and accessible for everyone. चाहे आप एक complete beginner हो या फिर आपने hands-on coding कर रखी हो. This course is designed to take you on a transformative journey. So in this course, I am going to teach you everything you need to know to make an amazing responsive website.